Okay. My bill, Children Have Inherent Liberty Eternally, purpose is to protect children, focusing mainly on social workers, but is not limited to foster care. Its main goal is to reduce preventable children deaths as soon as possible and to eliminate it. It calls for a mandatory schooling of at least 9 months, and it will increase if it fails to reduce the deaths. This is for social workers. The president has already stated a need to increase funding by $1.2 million, as he has also seen no improvement in the well-being of children. So we will use an adjusted gross income with brackets to it. Social workers failing to report and removing abused children from their homes will be fired, fined, or jailed, depending on the severity, which I will leave this the severity to the states, unless it reaches like a death, and can never receive a job with the youth. Foster homes are always to be visited and investigated frequently. The Bill of Rights declares every individual must have their life, liberty, and property protected. Children deserve to have their liberty and their life, as they aren't categorized as their parents' property. Okay. So their privacy to abuse does not exist. This is allowed under the Equal Protection, 14th Amendment. This is a federal matter, as the U.S. Department of Health Human Services gives federal funding to states for child welfare, and they have full legislation on the matter. They have granted protection set by the United Nations Convention of the Rights of Children, UNCRC, a legally binding international agreement for children protection. And this should also help reduce human trafficking as well as school shootings, because children abused mentally, physically by their parents are 40 times more likely to become school shooters. Any questions?
Representative Johnson?
You may have already mentioned this. I might have forgotten. So my apologies. That's the case. But what would the funding require for this, or what would the funding look like?
An adjusted gross income. It is going to be taxing the. Okay, I'll just read the brackets. People making $1 million or more will be taxed an extra 1%. People making $2.5 million or more are taxed an extra 2%, and $3.5 million or more taxed extra 3%. $5 million or more taxed an extra 5%. And the IRS calculates how much you owe minus specific deductions. So if you have any requirements that deducts you from this extra tax, then it applies, but they already are escaping taxes anyway, so.
Representative Black?
Also related to funding, how much do you expect for this to cost in total?
You mean for how much I'm going to be making together?
No, how much do you expect implementing this bill to cost? Because you mentioned like these taxes to fund it, but not necessarily how much it's going to cost us.
$1.2 million.
Okay.
Representative Ritchie?
Okay, I find it kind of odd that we need to completely overhaul the tax system for a $1.2 million bill. Don't you think that's a bit excessive?
Oh, this is, well, maybe in a little bit, but this also money will go to higher paying for social workers, as well as the people dealing with foster care, because they get paid to take care of these children, as that has already been low. So it will also help encourage them to take on this type of responsibility.
I mean, a 1% increase on the top 1% is a lot of money. Do social workers really need that much of an income boost?
It's not also just for them, it's for their education. They go to college to they go to college to know how to properly take care of children.